and they've been giving up to 50 million naira to a producer. They're able to give all the required information, basically, or required documents and collateral and things like that. But one thing, as a lawyer, you need to advise your client, or as a producer, you need to know is that with debt, when you take out a loan, sometimes you will have to pay it back before your film actually starts making money. Okay? So what you want to do is make sure that you have a suitable, what's called a moratorium period. Alright? What that does is that it buys you some time. So from the time that you take out that loan, you have, let's say, a year. And in that year, that's probably when you're going to be making a film. So you have a year to just breathe, make your film, and know that you don't have any interest rates that are just backing up that you have to be paying every month. Because those interest rates can be a killer. So you can afford debt. Yes, okay. And then we have equity. Equity basically means that an investor comes up to you and they say, okay, like, I think that you have a good film on your hands. I want to give you some money to make it, but I want to cash in on the profits. Alright? So what you'll do is basically you come up with an investor agreement. You'll decide at that point in time who so you'll decide how much equity they have, how many shares in this film they have. So if at the end of the day the film makes 500 million naira, if they have 5%, how much do they get? Whatever amount of acquisition. What's 5% of 500 million? Let's make it easier. What's 10% of 500 million? 50 million? Okay. So they know that if the film makes 500 million profits, not gross profit, then they get 50 million of that. That's another thing you want to make sure of. That your agreement clearly states whether they are taking out of the gross, that's all the money made, or if they're taking out of the money made after expenses. You still have to pay some people. You have some bills that you need to sort out, for instance, marketing bills. Side note, marketing can sometimes be at least half of the film budget. If a film costs you 50 million to make, it's usually a good idea to set aside another 50 million just to market your film, make sure that you can make your money. Alright? So yeah, in the investor agreement, I talked about profit sharing. You'll need to know when and how the funds should be dispersed. Do we get it right away, or do we get it once, sometimes some investors might want to make sure that you have, like maybe giving you 30% of the funds that you need for the film. And before they give you that 30%, they want to make sure that you have at least 80%, however you want to finance it. So you get it then. If they're giving you 50% or upwards of your budget, they might want to be able to tell you how you should run the film. Do you know what I'm saying? They might want to have some creative control in who's directing or who's acting in the film, or I think that this editing shot doesn't work, right? You want to make sure that the agreement clearly states who makes the final decision, or you risk your film being taken away from you, so to speak. Also credit. A lot of times for these investors, they get billed as an executive producer. And then pre-sale agreements are generally distribution agreements. They can be great if you have them, because say you have a great idea, you have a great writer who's already on board, maybe you've spoken to some actors or directors who have already signed off on it, and you're able to go to a distribution house, Film One, Film House, or whatever, and say that, Silverberg, can you please put my film in the cinema for 3 weeks? And they say yes. You draft a distribution agreement, and you can then take that agreement to investors and say, listen, I already have a distributor. So right off the bank, like what's the word? From the get-go, the investor knows that the film is going to make money. You understand what I mean? So those can be really great if you can get them. But it's important that you note these things that I've listed on here. First of all, the distribution agreement, you're giving a license. You're not giving them the film, you're giving them a license to distribute. And that license might just be, for instance, a film house might just have like Nigeria, the whole of Nigeria. you might be able to get Sony to distribute, and they might just have North America. Netflix is another distribution channel, they might, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But you'll have to clearly state out what geographic area it is. You'll need to state how long they have the rights to distribute the film for, and how much money they actually make. A lot of these distributors will take a lot of money. They'll take like 50%. So be careful with it. Obviously, the bigger bargaining power you have, the better for you. And then, of course, what happens if the film never gets made? All right. What if the film doesn't finish? Sometimes you may need to have a completion. The distributor or the investor even might insist on a completion, or you might need to take out some insurance to pay them back if that doesn't happen. But let's just hope it doesn't ever happen. Anyway, then we move on to the production of the film itself. All right. Okay, so with the production agreements, they are generally cut and dry. So at this point in time, that you have the crew agreements, the cast agreements, and all of those. So again, it's very, very important at this stage that we have those contracts say that this work is work for hire. Because these people are either putting in their creative energy and their creative thought into the film, or they're putting in their sweat. So above the line crew are the people who are responsible for the aesthetics of the film. There's the director of photography, the producer. You want to know who has the credits, or how are they getting credited. You'll want to, sometimes they might have profit sharing in there, they might want some equity in it. You might say, okay, I can't pay you as much as you're owed, but will you just pay me 2% of the maybe something like that. Control over the final edit. As a producer, I would want to have the final say in how my film is made, but who am I probably going to be arguing with? Any thoughts?
Director.
What?
A director.
Exactly. The director is most likely going to want to have that final say. Another person is the editor. So, but it's very important that in the agreements all of this is stated. Also, with the director and the director of photography, the agreement needs to be clearly stated to be, let's say it together. Alright, hold on guys. Alright, and then below the line crew, there are the people who are responsible for the technical aspects of the thing. So, the lighting, the sound technicians, things like that. Generally speaking, for these agreements, it's usually pretty basic. You just need to know their information, how much compensation they're getting, and of course, work for hire. The cast. Also pretty typical. So for the cast, you'll again want to make sure that they know that they're working for hire. The other stuff is there. I'm not going to bother going over it each weekend. I think the slide is going to be made available to you, so it's all there. But one thing I will point out is the credit and obligations. For instance, social media, you'll want them to be promoting the film. One of our clients came to us and she was about to release the film. Sent us the contracts to review. Again, we should have been involved from the beginning, but it's all right. And we found that she had actually not inserted a clause in there that obligated her actors to promote the film on their social media. Right? And this is someone who has some really big clients, actors in the film. So this could potentially be a huge thing, actually. How did you had actors agreements with them? You understand? So if they decide that they can't be bothered to post on social media, then what are you going to do? And a lot of the time, your actors are the ones who pull people in to see the film. Never forget that. Another thing is accrediting. Sometimes you might have two big bill actors, and one wants to get billed before the other. All right. What we have to do once is the producer has to agree to bill them on the screen. If they each wanted to come first, right? Well, what they did was, if you imagine the screen like this, one person's name was on top and on this side, and the other person's name was on the bottom, but on this side. Alright? Because as human beings, not human beings, because we're on this side of the planet, we read this way to this way. The person who's down here, but on the left, is going to be all right with that, right? And the person who's up here on the right is also going to be okay with that because they're on top, right? So that was a creative way to get around it. Sometimes you have to think about things like that, those kind of issues. And then location agreements are also very key. You want to make sure that you know if you're the location, you want to make sure that they are liable for any damage that happens to the location. As a producer, I want to have a clause in there that gives me allowance for rain days. For whatever reason, maybe my actor is sick, or my main actor is sick and can't come to shoot that day, and I have to reschedule. Will they allow me to do that without me having to pay another amount of money? Or maybe I just need to reshoot. That will also give me the allowance for that. And then, licensing agreements. My colleague, Tokumba, has already gone over this. We spoke about the sync licensing and all that. Very, very important. If you cannot show that you have a license, you have a synchronization license, master user synchronization license, to each and every piece of music, not just song, but composition, in your film, it can mean the depth of the film. I cannot overemphasize this. Okay? If you don't have these licenses, most distributors will not touch your film because that will open them up to so many lawsuits from so many people. It's ridiculous. Alright? So please remember, if you decide to use Burna Boy's song, I can assure you that these people will come for you. Alright? In your film. If you decide to use Stars is a producer, but he's dialed in when it comes to his intellectual property. Do not touch it unless you're prepared to pay the piper. Okay? And it's not that difficult. Some songs are more expensive than others. But altogether, you just call whoever is representing them. It might be, if you don't know the exact person, or you might not know Stars, but call a lawyer. That's what we do. Okay? We'll be able to figure out all the people, because it's not just Stars that's involved. Stars is manager. If Stars is signed to a record label, they will also want to cut it. Burna Boy, the writers, the producers, all of these people. You need to make sure that they are all covered. It's not just Burna Boy who's getting the money in his pocket. Every single person who either maybe they don't need, or maybe because of their agreement with Burna Boy, they don't get any more money. It's not working. Okay. So maybe they might not be getting any more money in the pocket in terms of royalties, going forward, but they likely still have to have signed up on it, And if someone has, maybe they didn't know, they signed away their rights to collect royalties, you find out later on that, these people are asking to pay for this song, and maybe they didn't come and speak to you. Maybe it's just an ego thing and you want to just be asked to just sign this thing to allow the song to be in here. They can decide to just say, no, I don't want you to use that song. No, I don't want to sign it. And that means you can't use it. Everyone will be frustrated. Okay? So make sure that you don't overlook anyone. Because even the person who's not even going to make any money from it can put everything in to a standstill. Okay? That's pretty much it. So again, chain of title, work for hire, profit sharing, credit. At the base of it is business. Everybody wants their money. Okay? Everybody wants their rights because it's intellectual property. Everybody wants to have the credit in it because we all want to have a reputation that we're all building. Okay? Yeah, if you have all those things covered, you should be alright.